from the Sony Pictures Studios, this is Jeopardy! Let's meet today's contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. Here are the categories. Bible belts. Baseball franchise shifts. Historic Munich. Cakes. Food words and phrases. And cats. Player one, you start us off. In 1958, the Dodgers and this team moved west to California. Here's the response we were looking for. The Giants. Choose again, player one. The Braves spent 82 seasons in Boston and more than 40 in Atlanta, with a 13-season stop in this city. We're talking about Milwaukee. Player one, back to you for our next selection. In 1955, the Philadelphia Athletics moved to this city, where they remained for 13 seasons. Here's the response we were looking for. Kansas City. Player one, back to you. After the 1960 season, the Washington Senators left the capital and headed west to this town. The correct response is Minneapolis. Player one, you pick again, please. In 1972, the new Washington Senators moved west and became this team. Here's the correct response. The Texas Rangers. You get to pick again, player one. On Munich's coat of arms, you'll find one of these religious figures who originally settled the city and gave it its name. Here's what we wanted. A monk. You again, player one. Munich's motto used to be Die Weltstadt mit Herz, the world city with this. Here's what we were looking for. Heart. We return to you, player one. In 1634 and 1635, this deadly contagion devastated Munich, killing more than 1/3 of its residents. Player one, use the Wii remote or press the corresponding... Yes. Choose again, player one. The Summer Olympics in Munich in this year were sadly marred by terrorism and tragedy. We're talking about 1972. Please pick again, player one. In the 16th century, Munich was a center of the German phase of this movement against Protestantism. It's player one. You got it. Player one, back to you for our next selection. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says that if someone smiteth you here, offer also the other. Yes, player one. Yeah. Right. Select again. After striking down his brother in Genesis, this man said, "My punishment is greater than I can bear." Let's hear it, player one. Yeah. You are correct. You get to pick again, player one. In Numbers chapter 20, after the Israelites complained, Moses smote one of these twice, and water came out. Okay, player one. Right. Player one, back to you. In a book named for Moses' successor, this man smites the Gibeonites, the Hebronites, and the Eglonites. Yes, player one. Yes. Player one, you pick again, please. In Judges, Samson whopped on 1,000 Philistines with this part of an ass. Player one. Good for you. Player one, pick again. Breakfast dish that can also mean to flatten. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. You again, player one. In 1966, the U.S. government banned M80s and these round red firecrackers. It's player one.
Yeah!
That's right. Way to go. We return to you, player one. Used before barrel, it suggests the homespun style and philosophy of rural folk. Okay, player one. That is correct. Player one, you pick again, please. It's the spicy two-word name for a type of knot that lets you join a rope to a rail or a post. Player one. Good. We return to you, player one. Let's go over to Kelly.
A nursery rhyme says, this person, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30.
It's player one. Here's the correct response. Cobbler. Please pick again, player one. The fact that a cat can land upon its feet without injury gave rise to the myth that cats have this many lives. Yes, player one.
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. Player one, back to you for our next selection. The Korat breed from Thailand is usually this color of some Olympic medals. Here's the correct response. Silver. Player one, pick again.
Yeah!
Answer, it's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. How much? Here is your clue. The mass killing of cats in the 14th century helped spread this disease carried by rat fleas. Right. Choose again, player one. Short-haired cats were derived from the Khafre cat, which was domesticated by this ancient civilization. Here's the response we were looking for. Egypt. You get to pick again, player one. This Asian-named cat is produced by mating Siamese and longhairs, and then selectively breeding them. The correct response is the Himalayan. Select again. In earlier days, this evil-sounding chocolate cake was colored with red food dye. Let's hear it, player one. That's it. Player one, back to you. The Cheesecake Factory has put its famous cream cheese icing on this other type of cake. Player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's what we wanted. Carrot cake. You again, player one. Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte is known by this colorful name in English. Here's what we were looking for. Black Forest cake. Player one, you pick again, please. This aluminum cake pan that sounds like a baseball play was invented by H. David Dahlquist in the early 1950s. It's player one. Yes. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. As its name suggests, a trompe-l'oeil cake is one designed to deceive this sense. Yes, player one. No, that's not right. Here's the correct response. Sight. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Best sellers of the decade. Conjunction Junction. New York, New York. Divide and Conquer, Celebrity AKA, and how about a little romance language? All right, if you're ready, it's double Jeopardy time. Jaws and Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Let's hear it, player one. Right you are. Please pick again, player one. Red Storm Rising and The Prince of Tides. We're talking about the 1980s. We return to you, player one. The Agony and the Ecstasy, and You Only Live Twice. Here's the correct response. The 1960s. You get to pick again, player one. Forever Amber and The Naked and the Dead. The correct response is the 1940s. Choose again, player one. Aerosmith and The Age of Innocence. Here's what we were looking for, the 1920s. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Destiny Hope Cyrus, Billy Ray's kid and star of TV's Hannah Montana, now goes by this first name. Here's the response we were looking for. Miley. Player one, back to you. It's the real last name of Nicolas Cage and of his famous uncle. We're talking about Coppola. You again, player one. When She's Got Mail, we wonder if it's addressed to Margaret Hyra. Here's the correct response. Meg Ryan. Player one, pick again. Yes, sir. His real name is Reginald Dwight. Here's what we wanted. Elton John. Select again. Answer. One of the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Give us a wager, player one. The clue. The movie's original Alfie. He was originally named Maurice Micklewhite. Good. Player one, back to you. It's 27 divided by 3. Okay, player one. Yep. We return to you, player one. 121 divided by 11 equals this. It's player one.
Yeah.
Good for you. You again, player one. Negative 72 divided by negative 9 equals this. Okay, player one. Correct. Player one, back to you for our next selection. 252 divided by 4 equals this. Yes, player one. You are correct. Select again.
Yeah.
Answer, the second Daily Double. And you're in the lead now. So what's your wager? Here is your clue. 1,252 divided by 4 equals this. Yes. Player one, you pick again, please. This two-letter word is also a Pacific Northwest state's postal abbreviation. Player one.
Yeah.
Good. Please pick again, player one. This conjunction comes before rain, heat, and gloom of night in the United States Postal Service credo. Let's hear it, player one. Nope.
Oh.
Sorry. The correct response is nor. Player one, pick again. Take away an eye from the end of a fabled Himalayan creature, and you get this conjunction. Here's the response we were looking for. Yet. You get to pick again, player one. This three-letter conjunction is commonly replaced by a symbol in Jeopardy clues. Okay, player one. That's correct. Choose again, player one. This conjunction is also the symbol for a poisonous element. Here's the correct response. As. Player one, you pick again, please. Completed in 1931, this structure required 10 million bricks. A true stairmaster would climb its 1,860 steps. Player one? Right. Player one, back to you. Forget about it. Now a borough, it was incorporated as a village in 1816 with roughly 4,000 residents. Here's what we wanted. Brooklyn. Please pick again, player one. In 1754, King's College was founded in New York City. Today it's known as this Ivy League University. Here's the correct response. Columbia University. We return to you, player one. In 1776, after the Battle of this area, the British retook New York City and held the city until the war's end in 1783. Yes, player one. You got it. Select again. In 1765, Congress met in New York to protest unfair taxes levied under this act. It's player one. That is correct. Player one, pick again. Around the Vatican, you might be able to practice this source language of all Romance languages. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Of Catalan, Bulgarian, or Romanian, the one that is not a Romance language. Yes, player one. Yes. You get to pick again, player one. It's the most widely spoken Romance language in the world. Okay, player one. Sorry. Here's what we were looking for. Spanish. Choose again, player one. Ligurian, Lombard, and Piedmontese are all dialects of this Romance language. We're talking about Italian. And the last clue for $2,000. This extinct Romance language of Croatia shares its name with a dog breed. Here's the correct response. Dalmatian. Looks like you'll be moving on to Final Jeopardy after this commercial break. Consider your wagers carefully as you think on this category. Organizations. Please enter your wager. Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. And the clue reads, in 2003, Allied Command Europe and Allied Command Atlantic, parts of this organization, merged. What did you say? And that correct response will add... You've come out ahead as our champion, player one. Good game. Thank you so much for playing.